Can you see me? Hello, everybody. We're looking at making bars of soap, so the handmade soap, okay? Today what we're going to do is we're going to be using a liquid pour base. So the ones that I'm going to be using are the melt and pour soap bases. This one is a palm-free goat's milk. And the other one that I've prepared is a melt and pour palm-free coffee base. Okay, so with them you can see here that, so this is the coffee, and I've actually just chopped up half of the bar so that I can melt that. This gets melted in the microwave. You can either start at 15 seconds, stir it, 30 seconds, stir again, up until everything is completely dissolved. So you just keep melting it, okay? 45 to 55 degrees will actually melt your base. This was the one that I've already done before we started, and as you can see, it's become a liquid base. Okay, so I'm just stirring. You could use this in a double pot melting method just to get it to the liquid. Okay, 24 hours will set your soap. If you want coloured soap, as you can see some of the examples on the table, you need to use mica. Okay, we don't use cake colouring, food colouring. That's actually illegal. Alright, we're not allowed to use it. Something about it staining the skin and things like that. Now I'm going to be making mine with some lavender, and I'm just going to be putting in a few little bits of lavender in through it. I haven't got any mica at home with me, so what I'm going to be using is the little bits of lavender just to give it a bit of a colour. Okay, so now we want to use between 5 to 10%. Alright, you can use this if you've got bottles like this that don't have the drippers. This one says a maximum of 5% for soap making, so you could use a pipette and draw that up. And I do have a pipette right here, but because I'm using this, I won't need to worry. Okay, so I've melted my soap base, and lots of different types of soap moulds, from these to this. This type of soap has got more glycerol in it, so it dries that cleary sort of colour, okay, as you can see. Whereas the goat's milk will end up with a solid looking colour. Other types of moulds that you could use are something like this, okay? And you can buy these from kitchen shops. So, so I've just used 5% to the amount of liquid that I had here. You could also leave it unscented as well. So I'm just stirring that through. What I want to do now is pour it into the moulds. And if you're adding some botanicals to it, you need to wait for it to start to cool down and then add it, because that way your botanicals won't all sink to the bottom. If you wanted to make a multi-layered soap with the moulds, you'd go and fill up, say, a third of one colour, then bring in your second layer as a different colour, and then make your last layer perhaps your same coloured again. Okay, so you might go white, purple, white. Things along those lines. These moulds are reusable. And you can already see, once it starts to cool down, you'll start to get a skimming layer on it. If you find your mixture starts to get too cold, you can actually take it back to the microwave and bring it down 15 seconds at a time. Okay, so I've used that. I want to make sure I've got no air bubbles, so I'm gently banging it. And now I'm going to, because I can already see that I'm starting to get a film on it, I'm just going to add and using toothpick, while that's still warm, I can mix it through. A fairly simple process, isn't it? Okay, so then I could decorate it as I've done with some of the other ones. So this one's a peony rose, this one is a lavender block and it's purple in there, just another way. You could get some tissue paper, other ones, you know, sort of add in a few botanicals, and there you can see the different layers into there. Alright, we need to make sure that we label our soaps, Okay, it's the same as anything. We've always got to tell the purchaser exactly what the product contains. So this one here is African black soap. This is what it actually looks like. And what we do is we crumble it and press it into a mould. Okay, so we continually press it, then we leave it for again 24 hours. And once that's done, we can open it and pop it out. These are the best moulds to use. You can also use these for your liquid based ones as well, your melt and pour, and then when you're finished, it's just a case of closing it up, just straight like that, and just leave it for your 24 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it some coffee coloured one, and I'm going to use some sandalwood, which is the main base for most aftershaves, and I'm also going to pop together a bit of a happy blend, which is geranium, chamomile and orange, and again this is your 100% essential oils going into these products. Okay, alright, we'll stop it there and I'll see you a little bit later. Thank you.